probably won't even have sound with this. I'll just let it go. Oh shit, I don't know where I'm gonna put this.
Leave it in the car.
It's gonna rain.
Leave it in the car.
It's just gonna stay in the car. Hello! This is part 2 of the Sprinter van conversion build-out process. This last couple of weeks we've been working on the insulation for the van. The insulation was actually not that hard, it was really easy. The first thing we did is I went to Home Depot with my sister. Going to Home Depot! And we had to pick up a bunch of materials. We ended up using R-Tech insulation with an R-2.8 rating value and an R-13. There were 2 different types. And the insulation, we used the rigid foam. And today we're gonna be working on getting this insulation kind of up into the ceiling and in these big holes in the walls and kind of in the back as well. And this is 3/4 inch thick. Each one of these things costs like $3.98. We've got 10 of them. And then the bigger ones are 2 inches thick, and they are like it's the same company but just a different style. And these were like 30 bucks each. This is R-2.8 insulation, and this is R-13, so this is like really good insulation for the houses, for housing. And then to stick it in, we're just gonna use the high strength 90 contact adhesive. The process of that was basically just cutting out the foam insulation pieces, putting them in, and using some spray adhesive to stick them to the walls. It took about an afternoon, and when we started we were being really particular, being really like exact. We would measure and be exactly this length and just kind of really particular, really focused, cut the line just straight edge. And towards the end it became clear that we could really just chop, push it in, slice, dice, there it goes. We didn't need to be as meticulous as we were. Bring a fan when you're doing the insulation in your van, because the spray adhesive that we used off-gassed a lot and it made you kind of dizzy. So it's kind of dangerous, so be aware of that. That's a thing that could happen. So it makes insulating things really fun and more difficult. I forgot to put in a piece of paneling.
Message to send to anyone that's watching.
So So the insulation is all done.
Almost.
Well, mostly done. It's mostly done.
Blocked in.
Yeah, it's blocked in. We need to do some great stuff, foam spray in the holes. But we actually got more foam insulation than we needed. So we're going back to Home Depot. I get to get some money back. We got Amanda stuck. That one of the bats has already fallen off, and that fell on top of her. So this is totally legal too. Totally. Then I use the Great Stuff foam spray. I'm going to be spraying in this spray foam. Great Stuff window and door. Basically sprayed around the edges to seal the holes. There are still some holes. Obviously the windows don't have any insulation on them. We're thinking about getting curtains to cover that up. And the cab we didn't insulate. This is what it looks like after the spray foam has been put in. It's a particularly ugly chunk, but that's kind of where you can see it expanding the most. I had enough to do one side of the van, and even then I didn't get quite all of it.
Ran out, but I found this stuff, which is Great Stuff Insulating Foam Sealant, Gaps and Cracks. This one is more heavy duty, so I'm going to be way more careful with it. I've got some big cracks that I need to fill. In there, I need to fill, so I'm going to use just a little bit of this stuff. Same on this side, just a big kind of a half-inch gap, and then these gaps right here. And since I've heard that this stuff will even tear sheet metal if it expands too much, I'm going to be really careful while using it. But this saves me a trip to Home Depot. Alright, finished, kind of. Doesn't look too shabby. That's the yellower stuff is the window and door, and then this lighter stuff is the gaps and cracks. So I think it's not going to expand too much, and looks good. Just cut off the excess. Yay for insulation!
The back of the van is totally insulated. It feels warm. I'm trying to decide when we're driving it around if it feels warmer for sure, or if I'm just imagining things, but I think that it actually is warmer. So our next steps on working on the van project, installing a fan. That'll be next, and then solar panel installation with like all the wiring things. So yeah, van installation is going well. If you have any questions, let me know.